By nature, television is generally scripted. Whether it's an actor performing in an episodic drama or comedy, an anchor person presenting the latest world news, or a quiz host welcoming an audience to a show, almost everyone who appears on TV says and does exactly what they're supposed to. But that isn't always the case, and we're not just talking about specifically improvised shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway? Even shows that are scripted have featured moments in which actors and performers have gone off script, and sometimes with great results. In this video, we're going to run through some of the best off-the-cuff moments that have been aired on television, both in live action and animated shows. Here are 10 hilarious improvised TV moments you have to see. Friends. Friends is one of the most iconic and beloved television shows of all time, and one of the most brilliant lines from the hit sitcom came courtesy of some great Jennifer Aniston improvisation. It was in the episode The One After Vegas, when Ross and Rachel woke up after a drunken evening in Sin City with no recollection of the fact that they'd gotten married to each other the night before. When they were informed about it by the other friends, Rachel responded with the line,
"This is not a marriage, this is the world's worst hangover!"
which was superbly made up on the spot by Aniston. House. Hugh Laurie is an outrageously talented actor, so it should come as no surprise that one of the funniest scenes in House, a medical drama in which he starred as the titular character Gregory House, was totally ad-libbed by the Brit. In Season 2's opening episode Acceptance, Laurie's character was mad at James Wilson for having sided with Stacey Warner in a quarrel. In response to this, House said, "Look, I know you're friends with her, but there's a code."
Bros before hoes, man.
It was so unlike anything you'd expect him to say that it was hilarious, and it was clear to see that Robert Sean Leonard, who plays Wilson, was cracking up about it. Community. In the introduction to teaching episode of the great sitcom Community, one of the show's main characters, Abed Nadir, played by Danny Pudi, begins taking a class discussing popular Hollywood actor Nicolas Cage. When he gets up in front of the class to deliver a presentation about Cage, Pudi improvises a scene in which he suddenly starts acting like him, going totally crazy and speaking in an overly dramatic fashion, just like Cage often does in his movie roles.
"Oh, I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat."
Everyone in the class looks totally stunned, and it's hardly surprising. They didn't expect to see Abed as Cage acting like a sexy cat that day. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 finale was a two-part episode entitled SOS. In the second part, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Leo Fitz invented a high-tech device that prevented the Inhuman character Gordon from using his teleportation powers. When Gordon asked Fitz how he managed to do this, actor Ian DeCasteker improvised with a Breaking Bad-inspired response,
"Science, biatch."
His co-star Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson in the show, tweeted that the line was the best ad-lib in the history of television. And it's hard to argue with that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Joss Whedon is known for his brilliant writing, so when he's penning a script, very little improvisation is required or requested. However, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, an entire exchange between two of the show's most beloved characters was entirely ad-libbed by the actors who played them. Allison Hannigan's Willow Rosenberg and Seth Green's Oz had a cute discussion about animal crackers in the episode What's My Line Part 2, and the whole thing was made up on the spot, including the fun line Oz says about all monkeys being French.
The monkey is French?
All monkeys are French, you didn't know that?
No.
Blah, blah, blah.
Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is an animated sitcom that's known for its vulgar humor. But one of the best moments in the show came in the episode entitled An Indecent Thanksgiving Proposal, which featured an improvised and completely non-vulgar song. Such was the song's popularity that it was even covered by the indie band The National,